All right, so let me tell you this story about two friends, Mia and Jake. They'd been inseparable since college, partners in crime, confidants, and each other's biggest cheerleaders. Everyone around them always joked, "You two should just date already." But they'd laugh it off. They'd say, "We're just friends," and they meant it. Or at least they thought they did. Mia was the planner, the one who always had her life mapped out. Jake was the dreamer, the guy who'd quit his corporate job to start a food truck because he loved cooking. They balanced each other perfectly. Mia would keep Jake grounded, and Jake would remind Mia to live a little. They were the kind of friends who could sit in silence for hours and still feel connected. But here's where it gets interesting. One night, after a mutual friend's wedding, they found themselves sitting on the hood of Jake's car, staring at the stars. The air was thick with something unspoken. Mia had just gone through a breakup, and Jake was, well, Jake, single and carefree. They started talking about love, about how hard it was to find someone who truly gets you. And then, out of nowhere, Jake said, "What if we're just blind? What if the person who gets us has been right here all along?" Mia laughed it off at first, but Jake wasn't smiling. He was serious. And that's when it hit her. What if he was right? What if they'd been so busy being friends that they'd missed the obvious? They decided to give it a shot. Just a trial run, they said. No pressure. At first, it was amazing. It felt like they'd unlocked a new level of their relationship. They already knew each other so well. No awkward first dates, no guessing games. It was comfortable, easy, and exciting all at once. But then things started to shift. Mia noticed Jake pulling away. He'd canceled plans last minute, or he'd seemed distracted when they were together. She tried to brush it off, but the doubt crept in. Was this a mistake? Had they ruined their friendship? One evening, Mia decided to confront him. She showed up at his apartment unannounced, and when he opened the door, he looked guilty. Before she could say anything, she heard a voice from inside. A woman's voice. Mia's heart sank. Was he seeing someone else? But then the woman walked into view and Mia froze. It was her twin sister, Emma. Here's the twist. Emma had been living abroad for years and Mia hadn't seen her in ages. But Jake had. He'd been secretly talking to Emma for months, helping her plan a surprise return to reunite with Mia. The distance, the secrecy, it wasn't about another woman. It was about Mia's sister. Jake had been trying to keep the surprise intact, but it had come at the cost of making Mia feel insecure in their new relationship. Mia was stunned. All this time, she'd thought Jake was losing interest, but he'd been orchestrating this huge, heartfelt gesture for her. And Emma, she had no idea about Mia and Jake's new relationship. The three of them stood there in a tangled web of emotions. Relief, confusion, and a little bit of laughter at the absurdity of it all. In the end, Mia and Jake realized that their friendship was too strong to be broken by misunderstandings. If anything, the whole ordeal brought them closer. They decided to take things slow, to rebuild the trust that had been momentarily shaken. And as for Emma, she became their biggest supporter, joking that she'd always known they'd end up together. So yeah, when good friends become lovers, it's not always smooth sailing. But sometimes the twists and turns make the journey worth it, and who knows? Maybe the person who's been there all along is the one you're meant to be with, just in a way you never expected.